Hey everyone, and welcome to the Magical Miracle Network. My name is Ruth Perkinson, and I am so happy all of you are here with me today. Today is October the 3rd, 2023, and we have 75 beautiful subscribers to this channel. And I really just wanted to take a moment out and say thank you so far to all of you who have subscribed to this channel. It really is such a blessing to me and the work that I'm trying to bring forth to as many people as possible. So thank you to the 75 subscribers. And if you feel guided to subscribe, please do. And if you feel guided to share, then please do. And so again, just a moment of gratitude for all of you from me so far. It's been quite the journey in the last 5 or 6 months for me. And today what I wanted to do is teach a little bit about the throat, speaking your truth, and the throat chakra. Over the summer, I had a really big cyst on this side of my throat. It's not even visible now, but it was pretty big. And I had to go get a test done on it. And of course, they really didn't think much of it. They were like, oh, we'll just check it in a year. But I knew it was coming from speaking my truth. You know, this is the throat chakra, and we speak our truth here. And how do we know we're speaking our truth? It's by the voice inside of our heads. We have two voices in our heads or our minds. We have the voice for the truth, which is love, and we have the voice for the ego, which is fear. And so when we're speaking our truth, then this area of our system should be clear, wide open, and good. And I just want to speak a little bit about that today with all of you, and let you know that what I've done to heal this, the cyst is completely gone almost now. And what I've done to heal this is through my mind. I have absolutely been doing the work of A Course in Miracles. I have been doing the work of true forgiveness with myself and all the beings in my life, whether it be a friend, whether it be a family member, whether it be a neighbor, whether it be whoever. The people in your orbit, those are the ones those are your lessons. And so those people who are coming to you in your orbit, whether it be the cashier at the store, I just had an electrician here earlier. So these people who are coming into your orbit are part of your classroom, part of your lessons on waking up. And the guy that was here earlier was spot on. He was great. He was a great electrician. I really appreciated his great work that he did for me today in the house. But today, a short teaching that I want to share with all of you about speaking your truth and that voice for love. And I want to if you can, just pause the video. Sometimes if you can, great. If you can't pause the video, that's no problem. You can always come back and rewatch these. But I also want parents. I'm a former teacher in Henrico County Public Schools here in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm always thinking about parents and their children. And even grandparents and their grandchildren. And so what I want you guys to begin to do as best you can is to teach the little ones, even the teenagers, even the young adults, what some of this information is coming from A Course in Miracles, so that you guys can just simplify the message and you can do it with the children. It's very simple. Okay, so pause the video for a second if you can, get a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you this here momentarily. I'll just wait a second, pause, and I'm going to do my breathing like Melissa McLaughlin is teaching me to breathe. So I'm going to take a breath together. Remember, the thought comes first, then the feeling, and then here in the world of form, then comes the behavior. So I want you guys to teach your children that the voice for love is the Holy Spirit. And if you don't like the word holy, you can just say spirit. And this is your right mind. And this is what I call the kind mind. And so as you're walking through your day, what you want to be aware of is you have two thought systems you're dealing with in your mind, or you want to call it your brain, that's fine too. But it's really coming from your mind, okay? The brain is in the mind. It's not the other way around. I'll say it again. The brain is in the mind. The mind is not in the brain. Okay. So some physicians out there might balk a little bit at that, but according to A Course in Miracles, that's the way it is. Okay, so the brain is in the mind. So we are being activated in this world of form by who we're thinking with. And so your children, your grandchildren are whoever they're thinking with. If it's the spirit mind, then they're in the kind mind and they are in their right mind. So they're having right-minded thoughts through their day. Now, when the ego gets involved, again, there's no integration between the ego and spirit. They do not connect at all. They are diametrically opposed thought systems. It's very important to recognize when you're in spirit mind, you're in your right mind. When you're in ego mind, you're in the wrong mind. Okay? So the other voice we have in our minds is the voice for fear, which is the ego's voice. And this is counts up all the grievances, right? The ego is so crazy about counting up all the grievances we have with people. I mean, right? Think about all the grievances you have with your natal family, with your partner, with friends or enemies or political figures, whatever it might be. We are constantly counting up grievances and just holding them against other beings. And what we want to do is recognize that when you have a grievance, you're really holding it against yourself. That's a big teaching right there. When you have a grievance, you're really holding it against yourself. And when you're in the ego mind, you're absolutely in your wrong mind, and you'll have wrong-minded thoughts. You'll have fear thoughts. You'll have upsetting thoughts. You'll be just disturbed about whatever, and it just doesn't feel good. So you'll know when you're in the ego mind by how you feel, okay? And so just be very aware of how you're feeling as you walk through the day. And if you start to feel upset or fearful or whatever it might be, stop, pause, take a moment, take a sacred breath, and really know who you're thinking with. Have I been thinking with the ego? Have I my mind wandering? Where am I in my thoughts? And just ask to come back on track. And that would be very helpful. Okay. Just a little recap here. The Holy Spirit will count the kindnesses between your brother and your sister. So when I think of my friends or my family or whoever it might be, it doesn't matter. It could be, again, political figures. I want to try as best I can to think kindly of them, to think of them that they're my brother or my sister, even the animals, the plants, those kinds of things. You're really thinking with those kind thoughts, okay? Now, when you're in, just another little pictorial graphic here, when you're in the wrong mind or the ego mind, what you want to do is you want to forgive the grievance. Because the grievance will bring up what I call a block. These are blocks that come up between your brothers and your sisters. And it can happen at any time. You might have an attack thought or a blocking thought about your partner. You might just be like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that again, or she did that again. And that's okay. What you want to do is just bring that grievance up. And you want to just get into your right mind, and you want to look at the grievance with the Holy Spirit, who is the true wisdom teacher in your mind. The Holy Spirit is the loving wisdom teacher in your mind. And the Holy Spirit is always going to be quiet and kind and loving and forgiving and supportive and helpful and encouraging. And so we must begin to trust the Holy Spirit's wisdom. And then when that grievance comes up, I'll use my little stone here. When the grievance comes up, look at the grievance with the Holy Spirit and use A Course in Miracles true forgiveness to drop it and just let it go. And then trust that the Holy Spirit is activating your loving thoughts and prayers of forgiveness, activating in your own heart and mind, and that it's being sent through the mind to all the other beings you are praying for, forgiving, whatever is going on in your orbit, okay? So again, we want to be very compassionate with ourselves, with your own heart, your solar plexus, your own chakra system. Be very compassionate first for you. Always put the oxygen mask on first for yourself. And then really know when you're in your right mind, which is the Holy Spirit mind. And this Holy Spirit mind is going to be your great guide, your great expert as you walk through time and space. And as you work the lessons and A Course in Miracles and all that you're doing in your own spiritual practice, your guide is the expert, not Ruth, the personality, but the Holy Spirit is the guide. And the Holy Spirit should really be in front. The Holy Spirit is in front, and the Holy Spirit, we are just kind of behind a little bit, following the voice for spirit. This is how Jesus did it. He was the ultimate follower of the Holy Spirit. He really knew how to follow that wisdom teaching of the Holy Spirit. And that's what I truly feel he's trying to help all of us do with the Course in Miracles in our own spiritual practice, is to follow the wisdom that's coming from source, okay, coming from God, coming from Christ, coming from the Holy Spirit, down into your system. And then you can just follow that wisdom. And when you don't know or you're unclear, stop, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself, who have I been thinking with? Have I been thinking with spirit mind, the Holy Spirit, or have I been thinking with the ego? And you'll know right away by how you feel in your solar plexus, by how you feel in your heart, you can feel in your throat. Just you'll know by how you feel. So I'm encouraging all of you guys today to really understand more and more each and every day, which mind am I in? Am I in spirit mind or am I in ego mind? And if you've got a grievance against a brother or a sister, I don't care who they, or an animal, it doesn't matter, just make sure that this grievance is, you're really holding it against yourself. And when you hold a grievance against yourself, then all things can just be kind of weird. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to hold a grievance against anyone else or even yourself. You want to just, again, drop the grievance. I'm dropping the grievance, and I'm picking up the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, who is the most beautiful teacher in time and space. The Holy Spirit has been with you since the beginning of time and will be with you throughout all of time. And so we need to just begin very wisely and slowly and surely, trusting that the Holy Spirit is the expert in the room of your mind. The Holy Spirit is the expert in the room of my mind. Not the ego, not the personality, not the individual. It's the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit can see into every dimension of time and space. I can't, and I don't think you can, but maybe. Wouldn't that be cool if we could? So let's just trust that the Holy Spirit understands and is doing the work behind the scenes where we can't see it. The Holy Spirit's definitely using your forgiveness, your prayers to help wake up the entire human race, in a sense, waking up from what I call the terrible, awful dream of separation into the happy dream of unity and innocence and love. Let's do it together. Let's all wake up to the happy dream of unity and innocence and love. And how do we do that? It's through love and forgiveness and sharing the wisdom freely of love and wisdom to all beings as best we can. I am Ruth Perkinson. This is the Magical Miracle Network. We are a free internet trade school. We are freely trading as best we can all of the information out, open sourcing it out to all beings. And I'm just going to do the best I can to bring you the information each and every week. Today is October the 3rd, 2023, a great day. It's a beautiful day here in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm just so grateful that you guys have just hit the subscribe button and share it with as many beings as you feel guided to share it with. So join me if you feel guided, and let's do this together. Be very patient as I take off my glasses and we close out the video. And I thank you for joining me on this short teaching today. And let me just find the stop button here. I found it. All right. I love you guys.